Makes it hard. That's why the receivers are getting open.
Oh, way to throw again. Down the sideline. Rod Smith. Touchdown.
Well, that is a replay of what happened down in Miami, except the Dolphins were the ones doing the throwing. And this is what was happening down there. Watch Rod Smith. Perfect coverage by Sam Madison, but the ball is thrown just behind him. The receiver makes the adjustment. The defender cannot.
Rod Smith coming back behind Madison with a handful of jersey, and John Elway says, yeah, that was good.
He couldn't stop. Look at that right hand of Rod Smith. He has got that jersey. It's perfect, and he pulls him forward. He stops and goes up and makes the catch. Now, early in the telecast, we were talking about Sam Madison, Terrell Buckley. They were telling us last night about their grippers, their hands.
This is a team that can bring a lot of weapons to bear, especially when they're backed into a corner.
Broncos with the hurry-up offense the rest of the way. Greasy takes a look, going to the end zone. He's got a guy, and it's caught. There's also a penalty marker down. Signal is touchdown. We'll see what the indicator is, who the foul is on. The Broncos are pointing at the Bengals.
And so is the official.
If it goes, it's a 28-yard touchdown, Steve.
And it will.
It will.
Illegal contact. 51 defense. Penalties decline. The score.
Wait, there's more.
There sure is. Just when it looked like the Bengals couldn't mess this up, they let Rob Smith go right in for the touchdown just a moment ago.
Here makes the pick. The Broncos capitalize, as the good teams do. Elway, 28 yards. Rod Smith, guess what? Mile-high salute again.
Elway looks over the Raider defense, drops straight back. Pressure is on. John buys some time, lost one down the left sideline. Rod Smith, touchdown! Oh, what a great job by Rod Smith, battling an Oakland defender.
Brister, Rod Smith. Look at Smith. Make the move. 4 touchdown passes on the
passes, 2 to Rod Smith as the Broncos breezed by Philadelphia, then began preparing.
Quarter 27-10 Denver on 4th and 1. Greasy stumbles, rolls out. You know what? Do you think he knows what he's doing? Do you think he knows what he's doing? That's
First Pro Bowl. He's had a big year. First down at the 33. Elway right to work on first down. Got a block going long. He's got a receiver. Smith, touchdown.
Safety blitz coming from here. That's Jay Bellamy. So he knows he's got man-on-man on the backside. Willie Williams one-on-one. Just flat gets beat. Beautiful catch over the top. Let me tell you, that's a tough catch because you lose sight of the ball. Look at their outreach. The hands, all hands catch and never loses stride.
33-yard touchdown pass by Elway.
Elway threw for 4 touchdown passes, bringing his career total to 300.
He's not done. Neither is Smith. Greasy, Smith, touchdown, 24-10 Broncos as they
rolled up 117 yards receiving as the Broncos opened up a 34-0 lead and never looked back.
Sharp in the backfield with Elway. Then he goes into the pattern. Elway goes long again. And it's a touchdown to Rod Smith. Rod Smith, who's had a brilliant year out of Missouri Southern, and they beat to Nell Wolford. The salute that's become the trademark for the touchdown makers for the Denver Broncos. And this man, Rod Smith, You saw in the pregame show, he says, I work daily. I don't work by the week. I work daily. Every time I come into the Denver locker room, I go right to see if my uniform's still there. He was a free agent. He struggled to make it. Yards on the touchdown to Rod Smith. And the Denver Broncos strike first in Pittsburgh with 9:38 remaining in the first quarter.
Donnell Wolford against Rod Smith up top. Donnell Wolford, double move, great position. Really what happens, Rod Smith just uses his speed and pulls away at the end.
The one thing about Donnell Wolford, though, you see it.
Elway gets time, going deep for Rod Smith. He's out there. He's got it. Touchdown. Second big connection with Rod Smith in the game. Earlier, a 72-yarder. This one, 38.
Watch the pickup right there by number 30. I told you he could block as well. He's picking up the blitz.
Smith goes in.
Off the ball is a key part of that. That's what he's trying to get, trying to anticipate the snap count.
4 wides. 3rd down and 3. Broncos thus far perfect. 5 for 5 on 3rd down. Elway guns it over the middle, and it is Rod Smith, free and clear. Touchdown, Denver.
I don't know if that was a completed pass or if John Elway impaled Rod Smith with that football.
He's had a lot of drops by Rod Smith. This time he stuck it in there. Jacksonville coming on a blitz, and it was a terrific read by Rod Smith and John Elway. They connect up, and he's gone.
Were my ears betraying me, or could you hear that football hit Rod Smith?
Rod Smith had a bunch of drops earlier in the year, a few weeks ago, particularly against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, did you see him look that ball into his hands? They've been doing that in practice, talking about it.
And with 2.5 to go in the quarter, 14-0. Rod Smith going all the way here.
Performance that took the Jaguars' breath away as Denver passed and ran on Jacksonville with shocking ease.
You can forget it. Touchdown, Denver. Oh, they caught him in a blitz. And Elway and Rod Smith on the side adjust are on the same page, and it's touchdown Broncos, their second of the...
They won't be able to stop the clock.
And hope for an interference call. Let him throw underneath. Elway firing to Smith. Broncos win it.
Came back and threw a ball that most quarterbacks can't make with that type of velocity.
Wait, this is the fourth quarter. This is John Elway. It's his time. The pump fake and the release. 49 yards for Rod Smith. Are you kidding me?
John did a great job of buying a little time, gave a great pump fake, and all of a sudden Rod Smith is wide open.
Pump fake again. He wants it all. Smith's wide open. Rod Smith hits. 5. Touchdown.
And it was so wide open that I said, uh-oh. Is he going to pull the string or is Rod going to drop it? You know, you're never sure if it's going to work, but it's a great execution.
49 yards on the play.
Rod Smith's second career touchdown.
Rod Smith in the backfield, the tailback. With the block, Smith breaks it. Here comes Smith with the seam. Rod Smith to the corner. Touchdown, Denver. 50 yards. Wow.
That was a big-time run and a huge block by Mike Anderson. Where do you see the block that Mike Anderson set for Rod Smith coming back across the field?
Rod Smith. What a run.
Let's check it off. Ed McCaffrey sealing Sinclair right there. Big Tony Jones out here on Willie Williams. Watch him come across the field. You're going to see Mike Anderson, 38. He's got to go. Right here, watch that. The new tailback taking the pitch, Rod Smith. Now watch Mike Anderson to the top of the screen, lined up at wide receiver. Watch him come into the picture late. Watch this. Rod Smith sees him right now. He's running for him. There's the big block right here. That's all the plays that you have to make. That's what you do, Gus. That's what's called being in the game. Keeping your motor running, making a play downfield.
Week 12 in Seattle quickly turned into another shootout. Rod Smith ran 50 yards for one Denver touchdown.
Now a yard shy of the 50 and a second down and 1. Play fake. All kinds of time for Elway for Smith. Got it. Touchdown Denver. Well, you give the man a month in which to throw the ball.
And you give the wide receiver the entire field to use, and the result is, after this extra point, Denver will have outscored their opponents in the first. Well, here's Willie Williams' problem. You're that far off Rod Smith. You know why you're that far off? You've got the entire football field to defend. As you see Darrell Williams go inside, the safety's no help. The offside corner, Sean Springs can't get there. You know.
In the pocket, plenty of time. Elway. Deep down the middle of the field for Rod Smith. Smith's got it! Inside the 10, 5, touchdown!
Touchdown passes to Rod Smith and Shannon Sharp help build the lead and defend.
Telling us that of all the teams they play, the Seahawks usually do the best job on him. That's been true again today. Play action fake. Elway with time. Going for Smith. He's got it. Touchdown. And once again, it's Sean Springs that is victimized.
I keep saying it, you've got to make it an issue. If a cornerback does not have his hands, he can't jam. If he can't jam, he can't knock a receiver off stride. And if you can't knock a receiver off stride, you can't hang with him. Sean Springs was never in that play, had nothing to do with the hand, had a lot to do with the Rod Smith, though.
59-yard strike, Elway to Smith.
John Elway with his, go ahead, hit me again. Play soft. He's not going to challenge. When he doesn't challenge, he's going to be a victim because Rod Smith can go anywhere he wants and dictate the route to the defensive back.
5 receptions, 114 yards, including that touchdown for Rod Smith. That was his 5th touchdown reception of the season.
List.
Elway play fake in the pocket. Nice protection. Elway deep down the right side. Watch Rod Smith. Smith got it. 5-10 touchdown.
13-0 now, second quarter. Rod Smith, the veteran, returning punch. Look at this. Smith right up the middle. 65 yards. Gone. 20-0 Denver.
What is it that Rod Smith cannot do for this football team?
Losing stretch came against the Chargers.
Straight up the gut, 40, 45 midfield. Here we go, 45, 40. Rod one to beat, 30, 20, 15, 10, 5. Rod Smith, 65 yards for a touchdown.
By 10 points in the third quarter. Ryan Greasy taking a look downfield. Throws it out beautifully, and Rod Smith is on the run. He's going to go the distance. Rod Smith is going to take it all the way down and go into the end zone on a spectacular play, a 65-yard scoring play. As Greasy and Smith get 7 back quick if they make the extra point.
This is why Brian Greasy is such a good quarterback. He bounces back from the bad interception he just threw, finds his go-to guy, stands in the pocket, and goes for a touchdown.
Well, as yesterday, Steve, when we talked to Bill Belichick, he said nobody's better than Shanahan at attacking your defense, making you make adjustments, showing you new things all the time. He said you have to be ready for everything, and the Patriot defenders weren't ready for that. As
11 times last year, his receptions went the distance.
Sub throws, wide open, Rod Smith, 45 midfield, 45-40. Good race, 35-30. 65 yards on the play. Rod Smith, another.
Eventual Super Bowl champions in Week 7. Denver rallied to overcome a 20-10 New England Patriots lead. Greasy's touchdown passes to Rod Smith and Dwayne Carswell.
Right on 3rd and 10. Elway with time, fires and completes to Rod Smith, and he's on his way. Smith is going. Touchdown, Denver.
Watch Dexter McLean, number 24. He fell. He was right there in situation to break on the ball, and he fell and broke the whole thing open.
9:56 to go. First quarter, and the Broncos strike quickly.
Up at the 16, throws up the field. The ball is going to be cut over the middle and running wide open. It's going to be Rod Smith, and Smith is gone. He's gone for the touchdown. 72 yards. 72 big.
Denver's first play after the missed field goal. Elway going deep, and he's got Rod Smith. And Smith's gone.
John Elway could play another 10 years. Rod Smith ran right by Eugene Robinson. That was a bootleg pass. We talked about the cross. And remember I said how they run those crosses on you? They run those crosses, then you jump up on those crosses, and they get that post in behind you.
Atlanta is not ready on defense.
And that's exactly what Rod Smith does. You see, he gets by Eugene Robinson. John Elway was running a bootleg. He was running to his right, and he threw a perfect strike to his head here. But you see, John Elway started. He had his backs going to the left, and then he rolled out to the right, which is the same side that Rod Smith was running that post to. That was a zone coverage. They had the corner up bumping. They had the
Two tight ends in. The play faked by Jake Plummer. Putting it up top and deep. For Rod Smith, he's got it. Smith gets away. Stays on his feet, and he goes in. Touchdown, 80 yards.
Penalty flag down.
It's a roughing the passer against Atlanta. The touchdown stands. 80-yard bomb. Plummer to Smith. You run it. Or you run a pass. Plummer.
Deep. Rod Smith. Rod Smith will go all the way for the touchdown. I guess the answer is, yeah, you do throw it for 85 yards. And what a great throw by Jake Plummer. And you saw Rod Smith. Now, Rod may have been in this game for a number of years. In his 10th year, he still ran away from Ray Buchanan. How's that for making your first catch of the night? 85 yards and to score.
I'll tell you what was really impressive about that whole thing is that Rod Smith took off and he went for the goal line. But that ball had so much air under it.
And timeouts to get the ball back, and Plummer burns them for 85.
Well, Jake was he was really looking short, and then he saw Rod Smith breaking downfield with Buchanan on him. This was really not the main target. Now, Rod Smith just holds Buchanan, and then takes off. Look at where that pass was thrown. That was absolutely perfect.
Boy, look at him run, too. Jake's tickled with that one, and he should be. That's a wonderful effort. And in Rod Smith's brilliant career, the longest catch of his 10 years, 85 yards for the man who holds all of the Denver records anyway. And I think that's what makes Mike Shanahan so special when it comes to play calling. You're in a situation there where a lot of coaches would take the conservative